Hey everyone! On this video, I would like to go over problem number 2 from our Algebra 1 worksheet for Week 1 Remote Learning. Now, Week 1 for Algebra 1 Remote Learning is all about solving linear equations. And this is review. We did this earlier in the year, so we figured we would start out with our first week of remote learning as just review. Okay, and so there are 3 basic steps to solving linear equations. Okay, the first step is that you want to combine like terms on either side of the equal sign. Okay, and what that means is that I want to look on the left side here and see are there any terms that I can combine. And then I want to look on the right side of the equal sign and see if there's any terms I can combine on that side. Now, once you've combined all the like terms, the second step is that you want to move the numbers and the variables. Now, what that means is you want to get your numbers to one side and your variables to the other side so that you can get the final answer. And usually the last step, sometimes this is optional depending on how your variable is, but you want to, for the final step, to divide by the coefficient. And the coefficient is just the number that's attached to your variable. All right, so we have a good 3-step plan. Let's work through problem number 2. So my first step says that I need to combine like terms. So I look on the left side of my equal sign, and I'm looking for like terms. Well, I see that I have a 3x here, and I have a 1x here, and those would be like terms because they are both variables of x. So let's combine them. 3x plus x would give me 4x. Okay. Now, I still want to look on this left side and see, are there any other like terms? Well, I see that I have a plus 2 here, but I don't have another number on that left side. So I can't combine that number with anything else. So now I just have to bring it down and write plus 2. Okay. Now I write my equal sign. Okay. And so just to recap, I took the 3x and the x, I combined them to make 4x. Now looking on the right side here, I do see that I have an x term here, and I have a number 5, and I really can't combine anything on that right side. So I'm just going to write it as x plus 5. Okay, so we have got the first step down. We combined our like terms. Now the second step says we want to move the numbers and the variables. So we have to decide now which side of the equal sign we want to move our variables. So, and you can go either way. I'm going to take this x here, and I want to move it over to this left side. Okay, I want to move x over to the left side. So in order to take this x and to move it over to this side, I'm going to subtract x on both sides. Okay, I'm going to subtract x on both sides. And the reason why is, when I look on this right side here, x minus x, that zeroes out, so it goes away. So I don't have to worry about that x now because I've moved it over to the left side. Okay, so on the left side, I have to combine these. Well, 4x minus an x leaves me with 3x. Okay, and now I just bring down my constants. I have plus 2, and I have plus 5. Okay. All right. Now that I've moved the variable, I want to move the numbers over. So since I decided to take my x and move it to the left side, I want to take my number plus 2 and I want to move it to the right side. Okay. I want to move it to the right side. I don't want to take 5 and move it over here to the left side because I don't want them all on the same side of the equal sign. Okay. We want variables on one side, numbers on the other side. Okay, so since I am adding 2 here, in order to undo that operation, I will subtract 2 on both sides. Okay, so I bring the 3x down. That didn't change. Well, positive 2 minus 2, that zeroes out, so that just goes away. I bring down my equal sign, and 5 minus 2 gives me positive 3. All right, so we have completed step 2. We moved our numbers and we moved our variables. we moved our variables to the left side, and then we moved our constants to the right side. Now you could swap it if you wanted to. Okay, we could have taken the 4x and subtracted it over, and then we could have subtracted the 5 over, and we still would end up with the same answer. Okay, it doesn't matter which way you want to move the numbers and the variables. Okay, all right, our final step says to divide by the coefficient. Well, the coefficient is this number that is on my variable. Right now I have 3 x's. I only want 1 x. So I got to think about, what can I do to get rid of this 3? Well, since the 3 is multiplying the x, right? This is 3 times x. In order to undo multiplication, I want to divide both sides by 3. And if I divide both sides by 3, 3 divided by 3, that just becomes 1. And so I'm just left with x equals, and 3 divided by 3 makes 1. So x equals 1. Okay? So just to recap, you want to follow these 3 different steps in order to solve linear equations. You want to first combine your like terms, which is what we did right here. You want to move your numbers and variables, right? Move the variables to one side, move the numbers to the other side, and then finally you want to divide by the coefficient. Well, I hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys next time.